So my name is Marcy Newman, Marcy B. Newman. So we are actually going to open your minds to something that you may be aware of, and you're going to learn additional things that you might say, is that really so? But there's a lot of evidence behind what we're going to go over, okay? So VA Pacific Islands Healthcare System is our home on Patterson Road, and we share it with Tripler Army Medical Center. And we have an outpatient clinic that is pretty big, actually, 8 modules. And we're going to tell you, first I'm going to tell you about my background. I am actually the Health Promotion Disease Prevention Program Manager. It's a mouthful. In short, HPDP, or people call me Hippie Dippy, and I am a hippie with the short hair. So that's my main role. My side role is to educate people about the whole health program that has been going on in the VA for 5 years nationally, since 2014. I'm going to give you the background of it. And this is a way to bring to every veteran and every employee other options of healing and health and healing, okay? So, one moment. There are no other slides. Okay, I'm going to keep talking. So, I can talk on this without any visuals. So basically, there is an MD that was recruited by the VA. Her name is Tracy Gaudet, Dr. Tracy Gaudet. She was actually recruited by the New Jersey VA in 2011. So what was happening at Duke University in North Carolina is they had this great health healing with a circle and elements of self-care, okay? So that wonderful system with Duke University, raise your hand if you've never heard of Duke. So everyone's heard of Duke. Never heard of Duke, sir? Nope? Okay. So, are you joking or are you serious?
No, I'm stretching my eyes.
Oh, okay. So basically, Dr. Tracy Gaudet was doing all these great things. She is an MD. She's also trained through a fellowship, University of Arizona, my alma mater. Yay! Anyone else from U of A? No one else, sure. Okay. So anyway, she was an MD that went for a 2-year fellowship training. There are MDs around the country that train in complementary integrative health. So what does that mean? That is anything from not just acupuncture. I'm an acupuncturist also, by the way. Not at the VA. But that's a big part of who I am and how I am. So Dr. Tracy Gaudet arranged this system at Duke, and they have all these wonderful things in their clinic that bring in acupuncture and massage and reflexology, and they were getting great results. So the VA said, you know what, we want some of that. So they actually recruited Dr. Tracy Gaudet and other people, Dr. Ben Kigler is another one, and there are many people that were involved in strategic planning at the VA from 2012 to 2015. So these group of integrative health practitioners came up with, how do we make this happen at the VA? So in 2016, there was a huge piece of legislation. Raise your hand if you've heard of CARA, C-A-R-A. No? Raise your hand if you know about the opioid epidemic. Okay, thank you. So CARA legislation was put into practice on a federal level through the legislative efforts to actually tackle the opioid epidemic. So the trick is you have many, many people, not just veterans, but thousands, millions of people taking narcotics for pain relief, and they're getting side effects. They have a higher chance of dying if you overdose because you get sleepy, you're not aware. Oh, I need to take my pill. You took it 5 minutes ago. I'm a nurse as well. Anyway, so I'm used to giving people narcotics when I was actually a clinical nurse. And I know they are effective for pain control, but there are many, many side effects. So what the VA did was they constructed a program, and they had 18 sites around the VA that were selected to pioneer whole health. So whole health falls underneath the Office of Patient-Centered Care and Cultural Transformation, OPCC&CT, long term. So basically, they want to know, raise your hand if you're a veteran in the audience. Okay, thank you for your service, really. Raise your hand if you work with veterans, probably the rest of the hands, and all the hands. Thank you for your service. What I want to say is, we as folks that work with veterans have a new way. So 20 years ago, and I used to be a hygienist. Yes, I've used to be everything. No, I'm not a policeman. I'm not an engineer. There's many things I haven't been. Anyway, so we want to bring new ways, and we want to show you how you can take care of yourselves. We want to show you how you can tap into what matters most to you. Okay? There is an actual questionnaire or an inventory called the Personal Health Inventory. You actually answer the questionnaire. There's a front and there's a back, and you figure out what matters to you in your life. How do you make your healthcare decisions? What do you think of the most? So, and we're not sure if we actually have the presentation, but I'm going to keep talking. On this wheel, there's an outer wheel talking about community. We want to send people out to the community based on what we don't have at the VA. So raise your hand if you know you can be sent out to community providers. It used to be called Choice, not called Choice anymore. Okay, June 6th, it's now the Mission Act. So P3 providers is what they're classified as. I should actually be calling up my wonderful friend Amy Rolfs, because she is the spokesperson for the Mission Act, and correct me if I'm wrong in anything. So the Mission Act has taken over, and there are many, many, many providers in the community. We want to make sure you get the care that you need. Okay, so in the community, we can send you out for acupuncture, chiropractic, hypnosis. We don't have that yet. We can send you out for podiatry. We can send you out for anything you're not able to get at the VA, or you don't get it in a timely way. There's an access issue. You need to go to urgent care. That's a big part of Mission Act. Not that this is a Mission Act talk, but community is on the outside. The inner circle is conventional and complementary integrative health, prevention and treatment. So, raise your hand if you've ever had acupuncture. Yes. Raise your hand if you've ever meditated. Awesome. Same hands are going up. Now I'm curious. Raise your hand if you've done yoga or do yoga. Yeah. Awesome. What about guided visual imagery? Aromatherapy? Eye rest? Very special. So I was trained as an eye rest level 1 instructor, and I have 2 people in the audience that did the training for me. I need to do a plug for eye rest for a moment. The integrative restorative program, eye rest, is based on Yoga Nidra, which is thousands of years old. What you don't know is all of these complementary integrative health modalities are bringing results, and we can show you research to back them. Okay? So we are tying the community, providers that are inside, to the inner circle that has 8 elements of health and well-being. Raise your hand if working out, you can't wake up without working out. I'm one of those. Anyone else? You get up and you're like, I have to go work out. Or you get off of work or the end of the day, you need to wind down, you need to run, walk, garden, yoga, whatever you feel. Raise your hand if you like it at the end of the day, middle of the day, any time of the day. Okay, no. So anyway, there are ways of working out, and there is working the body, which they've shown through research. This is the wheel. Yeah. It's my favorite wheel in the whole wide world. So, as I mentioned, community on the outside. Prevention and treatment, complementary, integrative on the inside. The 8 inner, and I would have kept going around the circle because I have a photographic memory. So working the body through research, we know that working the body is not just cardiovascular. Did you know there is research about happiness score? Yeah, it's a real thing. Through the happiness score, it is actually higher if you move your body in some way. I just attended a call that I called into. It was a national call for whole health, and they were talking about working the body. What people don't know, 150 minutes a week, people think you have to, even your Apple Watch will tell you that you need to get a vigorous 45 minutes, an hour at a time, sweating, grueling. The research is showing if you actually get up, people say you don't have time. You get up 10 minutes earlier. Do 10 minutes. Lunchtime, walk briskly, 10 minutes. Do another 10 minutes after work, another. It's almost equal, the results and what it does to your body. So that's interesting. Next one, surroundings. Think of calming, beautiful music. Hawaii, we're here. Think of these surroundings, the sunset, the beach. Think of how it makes you feel. A lot of research behind this. Feng Shui, raise your hand if it calms your spirit. Just going, hearing, wonderful, calming. Next one, personal development. A lot of research behind achieving. Doing something that makes you feel good. Doesn't mean you have to get another degree. Yes, that's been my path. But raise your hand if doing a crossword puzzle. You learn how to change a tire. You learn how to stand up paddleboard yoga. You learn how to do a skill and it makes you feel good. Raise your hand if that's you. Awesome. It's okay if you don't raise your hand. So each one of these things, I should say there are VA programs that actually address each one of these elements. And the middle part of the circle is mindful awareness. It used to be about the veterans only. The National Employee Health and Wellbeing Program, I am a VA health coach, yes, no surprise. I believe in employee wellness so wholeheartedly. If we don't take care of employees at the VA, where are you, the veterans, going to be? Raise your hand or stand up if you're a VA employee. Stand up, hi, yes. Thank you, everyone. Now, thank you. Raise your hand here if when you're at work now or when you were at work before you retired, you were burned out. You were tired. You are or were so stressed you couldn't sleep. Your shoulders were tight. You were irritable, angry, not happy. Okay? So that's employee wellness, that's veteran wellness, that's whole health. Okay? Food and drink, are you thinking about lunch? Raise your hand. Yes. All right. So a lot of food and drink is there for healing. A lot of people don't think about this, but what you take into your body is what you eat. I love that you're drinking water. So, no, not to put you on the spot. Water. Awesome. So what you take into your body helps your body work, right? We know from a Western standpoint. From a complementary integrative health standpoint, call out something you could take in your body that helps heal you. Call it out, informal here. Tea, vegetables. Did you know you need to shop the outer perimeter of the grocery store? That's where the freshest, more paleo, doesn't have to be paleo, they are the better things for your body. You go more processed. I will admit, I buy some TV dinners here and there, but I read every label for saturated fats, sodium, everything. I am a health food geek. Ask my husband in the front row, yes. So, sorry, hon. So think about how you can take in things that help heal. Turmeric, obviously, for inflammation. So what a lot of people don't know, it should be paired with pepper to work. Raise your hand if you knew that. Good. Turmeric, not just turmeric alone, if you take a supplement, and you have to make sure it doesn't go against what you're taking from a Western standpoint because it can decrease clotting. So if you're taking aspirin or any blood thinner, it can affect that. Next one. I can speak for an hour on each one of those, but I don't have that kind of time. Rest and recharge, raise your hand if you get enough sleep every night. Not too many hands. So I used to think it was 70%. I just read the research. It is now 50 to 60% of Americans have either going to sleep insomnia or waking insomnia. Did you know every 2 hours on the Oriental Medical Chinese cycle, it's a different organ system which represents different emotions. You wake up between 3 and 5, lung time, which is sadness, grief. Between 1 and 3, liver, gallbladder, anger, frustration. There are reasons why you may be waking up at different hours. A lot of research behind all of this. Friends, family, coworkers, huge. We need that support system. How am I doing on time? Good. Support system. The caregiver program in the VA helps caregivers that are helping take care of our wonderful veterans. They need help too. So we all need help. Right? So raise your hand if you like to call out a lifeline. Get some help from someone. You're not sure what to do. You need some advice. Raise your hand if that speaks to you. Okay, good. Beautiful. So, spirit and soul, I am not going to speak on that. That's actually going to be Chaplain Mike, and I will introduce her in just a moment. I just need to keep track of time. Okay. So, power of the mind. What I do want to say is there are many ways we can actually control our body through our mind. So biofeedback, neurofeedback, iRest, a form of meditation, and they do have a table on the 4th floor. I have to put that plug in. So there are many, many ways that we can help heal our body through our mind. A lot of research about that. In the VA, in primary care, and also in mental health, they are doing guided visual imagery. I just completed an evidence-based practice project on iRest with employees. I have one of my wonderful friends in the audience that's been doing iRest with employees. It's been great. Sarah. Anyway, next slide, please. So complementary integrative health, what I want to mention is there is a list of things that we are supposed to be providing. And then, thank you. And then there is a list that are optional. The ones that we are supposed to be providing, we are providing or sending out for the following. Acupuncture we send out for. We don't have anyone on site yet. We're working on battlefield acupuncture training. That's a long story. If you want to know more, ask me later. And also guided visual imagery is already being done, as well as meditation in our actual PTSD inpatient unit. They are like the model whole health mini pilot project for the VA. We are in the planning stages of whole health at VAPIHCS or VA Pacific Islands. So we don't yet have a structure, and I've been educating and raising awareness about this since I came on July of last year. But what I want to say, and there is a whole health coach in the audience, I see him. He's part of suicide prevention. He actually lives in our apartment complex. There are whole health coaches, sorry to put you on the spot, there are whole health coaches around the VA that are actually working on helping people achieve their self-care goals, their whole health goals on how to get better with anything that's not a pill, because there are so many other ways to health and healing. So as I mentioned, this list encompasses acupuncture, biofeedback, neurofeedback, meditation, guided visual imagery, chiropractic, Tai Chi, and yoga. That's the mandatory list. On the optional list includes, and I won't go through all of them, but aromatherapy, acupressure, which is a form of acupuncture without the needles, emotional freedom technique, anyone know that? EFT? Very powerful. You're actually working on nerve endings that are associated with the meridians in acupuncture. I could talk on a whole nother hour on acupuncture, don't ask me now. So there are a lot of ways to health and healing. And what I want to say in conclusion is we could go on because Chaplain Mike and I, and we are sisters from a different mother, we think a lot alike. We really believe in health and healing and wellness and know that we are transitioning and transforming our VA by adopting what this program has to offer. There are a lot of avenues, trainings, education, videos on YouTube. You can YouTube Whole Health in the VA. You're going to see at least 100, probably 200 videos. Someone was raising her hand. Someone else.
I just wanted a website or
yes,
all this.
absolutely. Go to va.gov and in the search box, put in Whole Health. And there are all different links and handouts and videos, all different ways to health and healing. You had your hand up, sir? Yes.
You guys have like an app?
That would be a great idea. So there are apps, actually. You can download Breathe, B-R-E-A-T-H-E. There is another VA app called Calm. Okay, there is an app that I use all the time. I know it's not VA, but I have to mention Insight Timer. Raise your hand if you know about it. Amazing. Insight Timer. So I go to sleep with Insight Timer every day. You don't have to pay money. There is a way to pay and you have access for more things. But you could tap into guided visual imagery, calming videos, calming things through that. There are ways, if you can't go to sleep, to do guided visual imagery, doing iRest, though we recommend going to iRest in person with people that are trained to do iRest. I was just going to say, I just want to bring up some evidence-based things about complementary integrative health. I'm working on my doctorate right now, and I'm doing, in acupuncture, I'm doing a lot of research all the time about how do we prove what we do that from a Western way to show people in all different forms, not just case studies, systematic research. We have all different ways that we can research, not just doing acupuncture on rats. I mean, they're doing acupuncture with functional MRIs. You can see on a functional MRI, if you needle the uterus point on a woman, it lights up on the functional MRI. You can see in iRest circles so many ways for PTSD, which is huge as we're talking about PTSD and health and healing and spiritual and moral injury. Ways of meditation and mindfulness is at the center of whole health. And also I wanted to say there is a school in Maryland that with kids, I know it was a Facebook posting, but I actually checked it out and it is true. Instead of doing detention, did everyone see this? Amazing. So they don't say, go to detention. They say, come with me to the mindfulness room. And they meditate, and they do yoga, and you see them doing down dog. You don't even have to do any of these positions to do yoga if you do iRest. Sorry, I'm putting a lot of plugs for iRest. But anyway, there are so many ways that we are incorporating complementary integrative health. This is just the beginning, and if you do a search on PubMed, anyone can get access to that. www.pub, as in boy, med, and I don't know, it might be, I don't think it's gov, com, I think it's com. Just do a Google search of PubMed. Put in acupuncture, over 5,000 studies in the last 5 years. Put in meditation, put in yoga, Tai Chi. You will see the research actively that is going on globally. One of the places for acupuncture that is producing the majority of the studies is Germany. And all over the world, they're doing complementary integrative health. Mayo Clinic, Kaiser, all these non-VA, non-military institutions, Cleveland Clinic, have been doing complementary integrative health way before us. So it's about time. And I do have it. So, spirit and soul is the topic that I don't want to concentrate on because it is the specialty of Chaplain Magruder. But before I go to her, I want to do one experiential exercise, if I may, with everybody. Ready? Put everything down. I want you to close your eyes if you're able. Can you hear me okay? I want you to take a nice, slow, deep breath. Begin your practice of eye rest in a comfortable position. Arrange your body so you feel completely supported for going into a deep state of rest and self-inquiry. Allow your legs to be apart, arms away from your body, palms turned upward. During eye rest, welcome every experience as a messenger that's inviting you to explore particular sensations, emotions, and thoughts, or the recognition of being spacious awareness. Bring attention to your senses. Allow each perception to come to you. Take a deep breath in. Sense your body breathing itself. Natural flow of air, sensation, entering and leaving the body is breathing itself, letting go of analyzing. Sensations in the nostrils and throat, chest and abdomen. Be aware of your deepest heartfelt desire. Welcome it as an affirmation of your present reality, while noting an intention that supports living this heartfelt longing in everyday life. Take your time now as you transition into waking life. When it feels right, open and close your eyes several times, feeling your inner resource. Come fully back to your eyes open, wide awake, alert, state of consciousness and being. The divine light in me honors the divine light in all of you. That was a mini eye rest. It's normally 35 minutes. I did little blurbs of each, so I apologize for that, but because of lack of time. Do you have any questions regarding the body and mind section? Thank you.